As a vet, I see it all the time. Seeing your dog hurting or anxious, it's just one of the absolute hardest things. We do anything for them, right? To give them back that happy little bounce in their step. And that's exactly why so many of us are starting to ask about CBD.
And maybe you've seen it in your own home. That little hesitation before they try to jump on the bed, or the way they start panting and pacing the second you grab the car keys.
These little things, they're not just your dog getting old. They're signs of real discomfort. Whether it's the nagging ache from arthritis or that pure panic they feel when the thunder rolls in, it is absolutely heartbreaking to watch.
And that leads to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? You've heard the buzz about CBD, but the market is just flooded. It feels impossible to know what's real, what's safe, or what's just clever marketing. And the biggest fear I hear from loving pet parents is, am I just getting my dog high? And let me tell you, that is a totally valid, incredibly important question.
So that's what we're going to do right now. In this explainer, we are going to cut through all that confusion. We're going to look at the actual science, understand the huge difference between CBD and marijuana, see how it really works, find out what the research says it can actually help with, and, this is the big one, how to pick a product that is safe and effective for your best friend.
All right, let's just tackle that biggest worry head on. Getting this part right is the foundation for everything else, so it's super important. The easiest way to think about it is like this. They're two cousins from the same plant family, cannabis sativa. On one side, you've got THC. That's the compound in marijuana that causes the high, and for the record, THC is toxic to dogs. But then you have its cousin, CBD, which you find in the hemp plant. CBD is non-psychoactive. It absolutely will not get your dog high, and it's the one that holds all the therapeutic promise we're talking about.
So here is the most important number you need to remember, less than 0.3%. By law, for any product to be considered a legal hemp-derived CBD product, it has to contain less than 0.3% THC. That tiny, tiny amount is the legal line in the sand between safe help and marijuana. It's the #1 safety rule.
Okay, so if it's not getting them high, what in the world is it actually doing in their body? Well, to get that, we need to look at this amazing system that's already hard at work inside your dog right now.
Every single dog and cat and horse and, yep, even you and me has something called the endocannabinoid system, or ECS for short. Just think of it as the body's master control system. It's this huge communication network that's constantly working behind the scenes to keep everything in balance. Things like pain, mood, inflammation, you name it.
Honestly, the best analogy I've ever heard is to think of it like a dimmer switch. So imagine a signal in your dog's body, like a pain signal from an arthritic hip or an anxiety signal from a loud firework, is turned up way too loud. It's just blaring. The ECS is what's supposed to step in and dim that signal back down to a normal, manageable level. CBD doesn't create some new, weird effect. It just helps the body's own natural system do its job better. It helps turn that dimmer switch down.
All right, so we get it's not marijuana, and we get how it works, but the big question remains, does it work? For that, we have to look at what the actual scientific studies, the peer-reviewed research have found.
The first big area is chronic pain, especially from osteoarthritis. A really important study out of Cornell University took dogs with arthritis and gave them CBD oil twice a day. The results? They were fantastic. Owners reported that their dogs had a major decrease in pain and, just as importantly, a big increase in their activity and overall comfort.
The second area is epilepsy. Now, for dogs with seizures that don't respond to the usual drugs, it can feel really hopeless. But research from Colorado State University found that adding CBD to their treatment resulted in a median drop in seizure frequency of 33%. For a family living with this, reducing seizures by a third it's just huge. It's an absolute game changer. Number 3, itchy skin. Ugh, if you've ever had a dog with allergies, you know that sound, the constant scratching and chewing. It's miserable for everyone. Well, one study on dogs with atopic dermatitis showed that 65% of them had a major clinically significant reduction in their itching. That means less scratching and a much, much happier pup. And finally, number 4, situational stress. We're talking about those specific triggers, the dog that absolutely dreads car rides or hides and trembles during thunderstorms. Studies suggest CBD helps by working with serotonin receptors in the brain, which helps dial down that intense panic response and makes those events so much more tolerable for them. Okay, now I need you to lean in close because this is, without a doubt, the most important part of our chat. Because the CBD market is so new and totally unregulated, it's really like the Wild West out there.
Knowing what to look for and what to run from is absolutely critical for your dog's safety.
Let's bust the biggest myth right off the bat. You'll see products labeled hemp oil or hemp seed oil all over the place. Listen carefully. They are not the same thing as CBD oil. Hemp seed oil comes from the seeds, and it's great. It's full of healthy omega fatty acids, but it has basically zero CBD. The real therapeutic CBD oil we're talking about is extracted from the flowers and the leaves of the plant. Here's another really dangerous myth, that natural means no side effects. That's just not true. While CBD is very safe for most dogs, it can have side effects. Usually, it's just mild sleepiness or a little bit of a tummy ache. But the thing we vets watch for is a temporary spike in a specific liver enzyme called ALP. Now, it usually doesn't mean there's liver damage, but it's something your vet absolutely has to monitor with blood work.
So how on earth can you be sure a product is actually safe and legitimate?
You ask for one single thing. It's called a certificate of analysis, or a COA. This is non-negotiable. Think of it as your golden ticket to safety. It's a report from a third-party lab that proves exactly what is, and just as importantly, what isn't in that bottle. Any good company will have this right on their website for you to see. And when you look at that COA, you're playing detective. You're looking for three main clues. First, is the THC level safely below 0.3%? Second, is it pure? You want to see no next to things like heavy metals, pesticides, or solvents. This is vital because hemp plants could actually suck toxins out of the soil. And third, does the potency match the label? Is the amount of CBD they promise actually in the bottle? And finally, and I really cannot stress this enough, you must talk to your vet before starting any new supplement. This isn't a step you can skip. CBD can interact with how the body processes other common medications, including some very common anti-seizure drugs and pain relievers. Your vet has to be your partner in this to keep your dog safe. So, let's bring it all together. When you boil it all down, CBD can be an incredibly powerful tool. It has the potential to bring so much comfort and dramatically improve the quality of life for our dogs. But, and this is a big but, only when you're using a high-quality, lab-tested product with your vet's guidance. Remember, this information is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional veterinary advice. If you have any concerns about your pet's health, please consult with your certified veterinarian. They are your best resource for ensuring your companion lives a long, happy, and healthy life.